The Fount of Honor refers to a person who, by virtue of his or her official position, has the exclusive right of conferring legitimate titles of nobility and orders of chivalry on other persons. Origin: during the High Middle Ages, European knights were essentially armored, mounted warriors, by virtue of its defining characteristic of sub-infeudation. In feudalism it was common practice for knights commander to confer knighthoods upon the finest soldiers, who in turn had the right to confer knighthood on others upon attaining command. For most of the Middle Ages, it was possible for private individuals to form orders of chivalry. The oldest existing order of chivalry, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, was formed as a private organization which later received official sanction from church and state. The 13th century witnessed the trend of monarchs, beginning with Emperor Frederick II in 1231, retaining the right of fons honorum as a royal prerogative, gradually abrogating the right of knights to elevate their esquires to knighthood. After the end of feudalism and the rise of the nation-state, orders and knighthoods, along with titles of nobility, became the domain of the monarchs to reward their loyal subjects. In other words, the heads of state became the nation's fountains of honor. Many of the old-style military knights resented what they considered to be a royal encroachment on their independence. The late British social anthropologist Julian A. Rivers noted that, while the sovereign is the fount of honor in one sense, he is also the enemy of honor in another, since he claims to arbitrate in regard to it. By the early 13th century, when an unknown author composed L'Histoire de Guillaume le Maréchal, Richard W. Capen notes that the author bemoans the fact that, in his day, the spirit of chivalry has been imprisoned. The life of the knight-errant, he charges, has been reduced to that of the litigant in courts. The legality of honors today. The question whether an order is a legitimate chivalric order or a self-styled order coincides with the subject of the fons honorum. A legitimate fount of honor is a person or entity who holds sovereignty when the order is awarded. Ultimately, it is the authority of the state, whether exercised by a reigning monarch or the president of a republic, that distinguishes orders of chivalry from private organizations. Other persons, whether commoners, knights, or noblemen, no longer have the right to confer titles of nobility, knighthood or orders of chivalry upon others. The official website of the British monarchy states, as the Fountain of Honour in the United Kingdom, the Queen has the sole right of conferring all titles of honour, including life peerages, knighthoods and gallantry awards. Quote, some private societies in the United Kingdom have permission from the monarch to award medals which may be worn by those in uniform provided the private society's medal is worn on the right side rather than the usual left. In Spain, the Fount of Honor is King Felipe VI as the head of state. In France, only decorations recognized by the Chancery of the Legion of Honor may be worn publicly, and permission must be sought and granted to wear any foreign awards or decorations. Dynastic orders are prohibited unless the dynasty in question is currently recognized as sovereign. Failure to comply is punishable by law. A non-exhaustive list of collectively authorized orders is published by the government. These two dispositions are meant to protect the ensemble of authentic national and foreign distinctions by attempting to prevent the attire of fake decorations. These may stem from territorial entities which have not acceded to sovereignty, or even from countries, nations, empires or kingdoms that are the pure and simple products of someone's overactive imagination, a fan of fiction, or even a megalomaniac. If not purely mercantile acts, or even the patent intention to abuse and swindle others. The papal orders of knighthood comprise 5 orders awarded directly by the Holy See and 2 others which it recognizes and supports: the Sovereign Military Order of Malta and the Order of the Holy Sepulchre. In response to queries regarding the Catholic Church's relationship to a large number of self-proclaimed Roman Catholic chivalric orders. The Holy See issued a statement in 2012 stating that anybody other than its own 7 approved orders, whether of recent origin or medieval foundation, are not recognized by the Holy See, and that the Holy See does not guarantee the historical or juridical legitimacy, their ends or organizational structures, to prevent the continuation of abuses which may result in harm to people of good faith. The Holy See confirms that it attributes absolutely no value whatsoever to certificates of membership or insignia issued by these groups, and it considers inappropriate the use of churches or chapels for the so-called ceremonies of investiture.